Shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and shalom to the prophets of the body, and shalom to the 144,001 May peace and blessings be upon your households. Excuse me. Okay. Shalom Bawakar, by the way. And subscribe to this Prophet's channel. It's his Great Millstone or GMS, Austere Men or Austere Man. Excellent channel. Just like the rest of the Great Millstone channels, you'll be edified if you are sincere. All right. If you're not sincere, go someplace else. All right. But anyway, I'm gonna hope the brother doesn't mind. Shalom, Elder Prophet. I'm just gonna use this video from your channel. Let's go read a couple of scriptures and water the water. I'm just gonna utilize this video. GMS Austere Man again. So subscribe to the Prophet's channel, the brother's channel. Shalom. Right. I don't know who this individual is. Is some, well, I'm not really on TikTok like that, but I'll check this guy out. Now, I've worked with, excuse me, Salakia for that, man. I've worked with Moabites before, or so-called Chinese people. They're very secretive. They're very introvert to a certain degree. That could be just their cultural norms. I guess the ones that were raised in the West have a combination of their Eastern and Western ways. But they're very secretive. All right. There could be a company, right, with a whole bunch of, different nations working there. But these Moabites, especially the ones that are from, or they're off the boat from China, they all sit together eating their noodles and shit. All right. Especially lunchtime. They're very cliquey. I'll use that word. They're very cliquey. But nevertheless, I used to speak to a Moabite girl, an authentic Chinese woman with an accent, and she left her husband, a Chinese husband, because she said that he was too involved in Red China, I believe how she said it, or the politics of China, and she didn't want to be part of that Chinese, environment where everything's like a dictatorship, or it's very limited in terms of your freedoms, what you can do over there. And her husband was really engrossed in the ways of their powers that be within that land, wanted everybody to be. And all the country pretty much, especially people that are in education or in certain high positions within China and that are involved in the West, having their fingers in many pies, like owning companies, they know these so-called Moabites, these so-called Chinese, these Moabites believe they are the next to rule. All right. I would say they think they're going to rule more than India next. They think it's their time. It's coming. All right. And hence the reason why you're going to see a lot of these people. If you guys have family members that live in different parts of the world, ask them. You got a lot of Chinese people coming in. You got a lot of Chinese people buying up businesses, large corporations and things like that. All right. They're going to say, yes, they're everywhere. And I mean it, they're everywhere. All right. They are everywhere. And they believe in their mind they're going to rule next. And a lot of them have their particular predictions of what will happen in the next 5 to 10 years. Now, that's from their perspective. Now, they're correct in the demise of the Western empires. All right. But they are not correct of the timeline, because Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai controls time. Okay. That's the real Father time. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai controls everything, the most high power in heaven and earth. and beyond. Controls every intricate fabric part, however you want to say, of this world. All right. Okay. Not even a leaf can fall from a tree, right? In autumn time, unless Yahweh Bashim Yashai has authorized that leaf to fall at that specific time at 1:01 a.m. on a winter Saturday morning. All right. Example. It's the Lord's will. Okay. Now I'm gonna play the vid. Before I play the vid, okay. I'm gonna read a scripture. Ecclesiastes 3:2. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Now we are at the feet of the statue in the book of is it Daniel, right? And in that statue, yeah, we're at the concrete feet of that statue. The head was gold, which I believe is a Babylonian empire, and the silver one was Persia, I believe, and the feet, right? Okay, the head was gold, all right, and the feet. Right now, we are at the concrete part, which is, we're at the last final empire, and concrete crumbles. Concrete is not eternal. Concrete is temporal. Okay, concrete is temporal. All right, all these earthly kingdoms are temporal. Now we're at the worst kingdom ever in history, the weakest. All right, and this is the so-called white man's kingdom. Okay, it had a set time to rule, had a set time to be lauded, had a set time to, throw their weight around. Now the time has come where, they've approached the finishing line of their kingdom, which means their kingdom is falling as we speak. Okay, so Ecclesiastes 3:2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant, all right, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And that's the so-called white man's kingdom. All right. And the Lord knows all these things, man. Okay. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. All right. Me personally, speaking as a man, okay, only the Lord knows everything else. We do not have 10 years here, man. All right. Okay, I mean, Lord willing, it's a year. Lord willing, it's less than that. All right, but it's no way 5, 10 years, you know. Listen, but then on the flip side, if it is another 3 to 5 years, we just gotta wait. That's the Lord's will, May Yahweh Shemashai give us patience. All right, but me personally speaking as a man, I don't think we have that long left here. All right, because things are happening, time is moving fast. Okay, and the Lord knows we are getting eager, and and Yahweh Shemashai Ratazah, that time will come when His Majesty Yahweh Shai, with the authority of Abanawa Yahweh, will return once the Most High gives the go-ahead. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he can not pass. All right, let's go to the video now. I'm going to play it. Let's go. And I thought this guy was just standing in front of a camera recording this, maybe for a virtual class or whatever, or what's a virtual class, or an online class or whatever. And the audience were silent, or the students were silent, right? It was silent. They didn't say a damn thing. Anyway, let's play this.
Happen in the next 5 to 10 years, or 10 to 20 years. Okay, I don't know the time frame, okay? But I expect these things to happen. Okay, the first thing that's going to happen in the Western world is decline of democracy and freedom. So remember, in the rise phase, society is democratic and open and meritocratic. But as you move on, it becomes more bureaucratic and ultimately authoritarian, okay? So we will see the United States, Europe become much more authoritarian. You will see a collapse of democracy and freedom in these nations. And already we're seeing this happen in the United States, where Trump is using more and more military to resolve issues. Right? So that's the first prediction. And this is going to happen throughout the Western world. Second thing is economic collapse. So as people have less and less right to speak up, they feel less invested in the system, they're less willing to work. Therefore, you have economic collapse. People don't believe in the system anymore. Okay, the system is in crisis. This will lead to immigration. The government is like, you know what, if the people don't want to work, screw them, let's bring in immigrants to do the work. Okay, this is, let's replace our population. But the people are not going to sit back and take it, right? This leads to civil war. People are not killing each other on the streets. And the government is like, you know what? If we continue to let them fight, eventually they're going to come after us. So what we'll do is send them off to like these stupid, pointless wars overseas. Okay? So now you have stupid wars. Stupid foreign wars. And these are my 5 predictions for the world for the next 5, 10, 20 years. Okay? Europe and America will see less freedom and democracy. There'll be economic collapse, increased immigration, civil conflict, and then ultimately stupid foreign wars. And I'm not saying this happens in a sequence. I'm saying you'll see all 5 things. Okay? But they may happen in different order. Any questions? Was this clear to you guys? Yeah, thank you.
Is there any chance that the government tries to use it to distract people? Like they're trying to hide on the collapse of the society?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is, that's what wars are for. It's to distract the people, right? Because if you don't distract the people, they'll come and revolt against you. So you either send them to a war, or you could have a French Revolution on your hands. Right? That's your option. War or revolution? I think war's the better option. That's why we're heading into a world at war. Okay, no, I'm saying like, if you don't send the people to war, they will revolt against you. So you send them off to war to distract them, to get rid of them. Okay, there's no right and wrong here, okay, guys? Okay, all right. Okay, I apologize, okay? But one thing that you will learn in my class is there's no right and wrong. There's no logic, okay? It's not like it is immoral to send people to war. I know that. Thank you very much. Okay, but I'm trying to explain to you how power works. That's a theme of this course. I'm trying to explain to you how people in power think and behave. All right? And again, I keep on saying this. I don't know if I'm right. But what I'm doing is I'm presenting a theory, a model that we can use to make predictions. And if these predictions work out, if it actually happens, then our model, there's some accuracy to our model. Okay? We'll have to refine our model, but there's some accuracy to it. But hey, if tomorrow Trump, Putin, Xi all get together and says, let's be best friends, then I'm wrong, right? Okay? So that's what we're trying to do in this class. We're not trying to argue what is right, what is wrong, what is just, because quite honestly, it doesn't matter, right? Morality doesn't matter here. It's about power. We're trying to understand how the world works. And if we do that, then maybe we can work together and build a more just world. But first, we need to figure out how the world really, really works. Okay? Any more questions? Okay, great, guys. So we will continue this story next class. I'll see you guys next class.
They had no questions after that. They were shook. Ezekiel 7 verse 6. An end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for an end is come, the end is an end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. All right. So the vibration of the end of this society is there. Okay. All right. And everyone, that thinks they're next in line to rule the planet Earth, all right, have their own specific timelines. And these heathens that are at the top know who the Israelites are. They know about the prophecies also. Okay. They know. And they know. And this information is passed. Obviously this guy he's probably been in the States for a little while. His accent is still a little tad strong. So he's definitely from that environment where, he's been taught what is going to happen in this world. We can all see it. Even regular people like us that, so-called regular people can see what's going on in this world. And someone who's a professor, who's educated to a certain degree, can see what's going on in this world. All right. And it aligns with the prophecies to a certain degree. But the only thing is, right, the Lord knows a timeline, whether it's going to be a year, 2 years, 3 years. Okay. All right. You can, as mentioned by the Moabite, the so-called Chinese, it's a theory. Theory is an idea of 5 to 10 years. Okay. The Lord willing, this thing happens sooner rather than later. Okay. With the return of our power, Yahweh Bashim Hashai, when the Lord Most High Power, Yahweh, will give the go-ahead to his son, our King, Yahweh Shai, to return. And the Lord is going to return soon. Muatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom. Kal Halalimna Yahweh Bashim Hashai, Bashim Rakak Kwadash. Muatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.